Today we will be taking a look at the PG YTech MantisPod Pro, aka the Joby GorillaPod killer. Now, I've used these Joby GorillaPods quite a bit, and they were my favorite thing for a long time because they're really flexible and you can bend them around stuff and attach them to anything, a tree branch, a desk on the side of it, a door, a knob, you name it. Except that's where the fall is too. After about a year of use, and even less for me, I was able to break mine in 6 months, give or take, of use, and it was already basically just worthless because you have some of the legs and some are really strong, but then some like this one right here, you put any weight on this thing and it's just gonna go like this. Unless you position it in like the perfect spot, yes, it can support weight, but like if you want to bend it around something or anything, it won't support it. Except you go to another leg and this one's like really stiff. And I use them pretty equally, and that's what's happened to both of these. And it's kind of annoying because they're not super cheap. Now, they're not as expensive as the MantisPod Pro, but by the time you're buying one of these every 6 or so months, you might as well buy the MantisPod Pro because that thing will not break down. Where these, they have a set lifespan, it feels like. After a certain amount of time, these things are just useless. Which sucks because they're really cool because I can just bend them around anything I want, but like I said, that's also where the fall is. But if we take a look at this PG YTech MantisPod Pro, it's not quite the Pro. I don't have the ball head on it. The ball head is a Pro model. But, I mean, this thing, it's sturdy. I'm not scared to break this thing. I will smash it against metal. I will use this thing as a hammer, as a life-saving device. That's not their marketing. They're not liable for your life, but it could probably save your life. It is that strong because it is made out of magnesium and a silicone grips, and the ball head is all aluminum. Like, this thing is high quality, whereas these things are just plastic ball joints that loosen up. I am not relying on these for anything, and I'm not putting anything priced over $50 where if it falls, it will break. I don't trust these at all, but I trust this thing with just about everything. Now, I hate it when YouTubers do this all at the end, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and then, oh, it's really expensive. So I'm gonna put this at the beginning for you. I feel your pain. So, the cheaper model that doesn't have the ball head like this one, and it has a smaller, like, just fixed head that there's a picture of it on screen, it doesn't have the ball joint. That one is priced at $99.90. Or if you want the Pro model with the big ball head that's made out of aluminum, that will cost you $149.90. So, yes, it's not cheap, but by the time you buy all these things, you could have just bought this. So, I say it's worth it. Now, this thing is very small. As you can see by my hand, this thing, my fingertips are touching, like, it doesn't even take 2 palms. Like, this thing is tiny. And which makes it really easy to just stuff in my pocket and go somewhere. Now, granted, I do have this weird shaped ball joint. I mean, it's not weird for a ball joint, but I mean, how I'm gonna stuff this in my pocket, that's not gonna work. But if you don't need this, or you can just toss this in a little bag, fanny pack, whatever you want to call it, this can just go in your pocket, a small pocket in a backpack, a water bottle holder. This thing can pretty much go anywhere. Now, for basic use, this thing is super simple. All you do is just unfold one leg, unfold the other, and you're good to go. If you had the ball joint on, I tilt this up, and I would just slap this ball joint on, and I'm ready to film once I tighten that down so it doesn't rattle. Tighten the other way, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Still haven't learned that one. I should memorize that one day. I just do it till it works, you know? Do it till it works. Morgan 2022. That's a great quote. But for simple movements, I mean, this is now a tripod. I could vlog on this I could set this down and record. If I want to vlog, I just close them in and I'm good to vlog. I mean, you could vlog like this too if you wanted. It's not like a structural thing, just grip's not as comfortable, but like it'll still work. And the reason that rattle's happening, by the way, is this plate. Once it's screwed in, it won't rattle. It's got the adjustable screw, so that's gonna. But other than that, this thing is really solid. I mean, you have that little rattle. Now, if you want to use this thing for a bit more of a complicated use case, we have our big button on the side, and that will allow us to adjust this whole ball joint to the fold up like portable mode all the way to like this very tilted back mode, where it is if I were to unfold it, you can see you almost have 180 degrees to basically just tilt this thing however you want it. But then if we want to get a little more complicated, we also have this smaller button here. I'm looking at the screen right now. I'm just making sure you guys can kind of see. I'm going to put B-roll over the screen too, but I like to demonstrate this stuff real time as well. But we have this smaller button, and that allows us to basically fold out these legs until they get to this point. You have to make sure the ball joint is fully, and then there we go. And now this gets me to this weird stage where I would hold it here or here, and it's just this really weird shape. But if we actually take this ball joint off for now, you can see now I'm kind of left with this like extended arm shape. And I just plop this cover open, and I am able to reinsert a ball joint, or any cold shoe mount for that matter. There is this little cold shoe in there. And now I have this like extended mode, so I can really shoot far away from me. If I obviously fully extend this, it's like an extra arm basically. And that just, you press this little button to release, make sure your ball joint's loose. It slides right out. Now you have this really nice quality like cover to just keep it tucked away when you're not using it. But here's where all of the magic starts to happen that you haven't seen in any knife. I'm thinking Army Swiss pocket knife, because that's what this thing is. This is the Army Swiss pocket knife of tripods. You have this little grip under here, this little mini phone mount as they're calling it. And basically you just unfold it, and then you can plop your phone in it. And it's got a really good spring. And then below you have your screw mount, your screw hole, whatever. So we can take our ball joint and we could just screw this on as you would. And then also under the tripod, we have this weird hook. Now, this hook is really, it's weird, but if we fold the tripod back up actually and unfold it this way, we see the hook is like this now. And I don't have a wall right in front of me, but basically you would hook this to a wall, and you're now able to like film with this hooked onto a door or anything, or your extra Joby GorillaPods. If this was a wall that went all the way down, you can see it hooks on, and then the bottom feet would like rest up against. And don't worry, these feet are nice and padded with that silicone. There's actually a little bit of extra like padding kind of there, so it'll be nice and padded on whatever surface it is touching. But this allows for some really weird angles to get. Now, I don't really get outside of the house, so I've never used this little lever, but it just tucks away and it doesn't take any extra space, so like you're not losing anything having it there. But all that stuff, really satisfying clicks, and it locks in. You can see it just kind of tucks away under there really nicely. You'll never notice it. It's all contained within that handle. And then you just close it back up and forget about it. I actually do forget about it, but yeah. And then we have this nice little lever right here. Nice. It does loosen a lot, which is really annoying. I think I'm gonna take a little Allen key or something, whatever that is, and try and tighten mine more so it does not loosen, but that is how you get the ball joint out, so it just slides in. It was a little tight, but it will just slide in without touching anything. Then to get it out, I pull this down, pull on this, and I can just let go, and it spring just makes taking that on and off really easily. And then you have your little thread, or not thread, your little lock here on your ball joint to lock it there, so it's not rattly and it's nice solid. Then moving up onto the ball joint, it is a basic ball joint. You have your ball, you have your latch actually, and this will allow us to do a full motion. We also have that little slit inside, so you can go like this. And now if I had my phone mounted here, I'm in vertical mode, so I can vlog vertically, do Instagram posts, YouTube shorts, whatever you need this to do. And then you just rotate it back up and lock it in. Or I can do it like this and I can lock it. It's a ball joint. You've seen these before. It's basic. We have a lovely little twist knob. I never really use this, but it's here. And this basically allows us, without moving the ball joint, to just rotate this whole top piece 360 degrees. And we can rotate it any way we want. Now let's lock that back in. And then on the other side, we have this little lever right here. Oh, rotation's not locked in all the way. We have this lever, and now this is the unlocked position, so I can now flick this switch down, which allows you to take the plate off. Now it's not like an eject system. I had it at an angle, so it kind of did eject, but if we want to simply put it back in, we make sure we first slot in the non-locking slide, or we can pull the lever down, non-locking side first, let it down into the lock side, let go, and then we flick this lever, and now this one does nothing, so that is pretty secure. I mean, your camera's not. You're gonna be fine. It'll work. But if we actually look at the plate itself, it is a Arca Swiss style plate with a nice little screw in the bottom, with a flathead like thing too, so you can get that nice and tight with a flathead bit. And any Arca Swiss plate will work on here, so that is really nice when it comes to not having to buy specialized plates and swap plates out. Swapping plates out is the worst thing in the world. Also, for the rotation adjustment thing, you have these locking points, so if I press a button once and let go here, and then we can see our first lock point is there, so this is like a low mode. And then if I press that again, our next locking point, and make sure that's all the way over there. Our next locking point is that special mode. And then same goes for the big button. For the big button, much smaller increments, but if I press this button, you can see lock, lock, lock. It'll keep going. They're really small increments, but makes it really nice for adjustment because it locks into actual slots, so this thing is really sturdy. And then you just hold it down and there's and then locks in. It's basic stuff, but I love that this thing, it's pretty heavy, but also not. It's super lightweight, which makes it the perfect thing to toss in a bag, or you just put it into this mode. You just put it in your back pocket and then hands-free, quickly grab it, and you're really good to vlog. Grab our phone, and then you just want to do this, and now I am ready to film. You can see, you can film yourself however you want to film. It is so simple. Go into that ultra wide mode, and now I can get shots and just record anything I want. And this is actually, I've actually never used this mode. This is freaking awesome. I am in ultra wide mode on my phone, and you get everything. This is sick. Wow. And then instead of going to portrait, I can just quickly do this. But if I did want to record a portrait video, I would, I'd rotate my ball head that way.
5 minutes later.
It was all because the rotation wasn't zeroed out, okay? That's definitely all it was, and totally not user error. But I'm gonna make sure my phone is in and it's locked, and I'd trust this. I would trust this. But now I can record portraits, so I can do posts like YouTube Shorts, just with this amazing thing. Now, if you're getting this, you're probably not going to be using it with the phone. You'll probably be using it with the DSLR, since it is priced at $150, or the $50 price, or the $100 price point if you get the cheaper one. But this is really cool that they give you all of these options, all 7 different modes, and you're able to do these recordings, and I honestly love it. Yeah, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, right. We have this cold shoe mount on the side, and this is just easily rotatable, and you can flip it all around however you want. I'm having a hard time rotating it, but it rotates. It rotates. It's a little stiff, but once you get something on there, you just grab that thing and you can easily rotate it. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I am really done recording. I had to record this twice because apparently a battery I have for the camera is like corrupted. It just shuts on and off. And then I got a .dat file for my video that got corrupted. I don't know what happened, but here I am the second time recording it. I hope everything goes well this time. I keep looking at the screen, making sure it's still recording because I'm very paranoid now. Anyways, goodbye.